So you got your jury selection notice in the mail. What's next? First of all, congratulations. In our democracy, the two most ways you can have the most direct impact on our form of government is one, voting, and then two, jury service. So what's going to happen is on the day of your jury service, you're going to go down to the courthouse and you're either going to go into a big waiting room or you're going to go to the courtroom itself and you're going to sit in order of your jury number. The judge is going to come into the room and he's going to give all the jurors an oath, and then he's going to start asking if anybody has a legal excuse where they cannot serve or need to be excused that week. Does anybody have a medical issue? Is anybody a student? Does anybody have a child care issue? Is anybody a senior citizen that does not want to serve on the jury? And if anybody has a legal excuse, the judge will excuse them from service. Then the parties will start asking questions of the jury. You might get asked everything from where do you live? What do you do? What does your spouse do? What do you like to do in your free time? To what are your thoughts on significant jury verdicts? What are your thoughts on compensation for pain and suffering? And then once everybody is done asking all the questions, the jury will go into recess. The parties will then argue strikes for cause. In Georgia law says if a juror is biased against one side or the other, the judge should strike them for cause. So if a juror has said something that indicates that they're biased or partial to one side or the other, the lawyers would argue, and they would basically say, Your Honor, juror number 17, when he was asked about awarding compensation for pain and suffering, he said he could not do that. And that exhibits favor towards the defense, and he should be struck for cause. If the judge removes that party for cause, then they're done and they go home and their jury service is over. And then after strikes for cause are argued, that is when the actual jury selection process begins. There is a sheet of paper with all the jury names on it. The sheet is passed back and forth. The lawyers choose to exercise what is called a peremptory strike on the jurors. That basically means that you can strike them for whatever reason, as long as it's not a discriminatory reason like their race or their gender. So each side in a civil case gets 6 peremptory strikes. And after each side exercises or uses its 6 peremptory strikes, then we have our jury.